The most prolific artifacts I find on the fields and the streams of my area are not arrowheads, they're not spear points, they're not axes, they're not tablet stones, they're quite simply drills. Drills were important to the Native American Indian for so many different purposes. For drilling stone, for drilling beads, for drilling pottery to mend pottery, for drilling wood. They were used in almost in so many aspects of daily life with the Native Americans. So it is no wonder that I find, you know, an excessive amount of them. Find a lot of them broken. Find some that are complete, and usually they're bifacial. But once in a while, do find ones that are unifacial. And I want to show you some of the items in my collection, and see what you think of them. Now, they were drills, for example, like this one that I found a couple weeks ago, were used in a bow type drill. And a bow type drill is what it sounds like. It was like a small bow, and the shaft was put through the string and it was pulled back and forth, spinning the shaft, which had the drill bit set into the end of it. It wasn't fast, but it was accurate. One thing that was crucial in that process is a capstone to hold on the top so that you don't burn the hell out of your hands. And I haven't found a lot of those, but I found one really awesome example of a capstone. This is it. It's worn all the way around from being touched and used, but as you look in the bottom of it, it has this hole, and that's where the shaft would have fit. This would have been held by the person using the bow, and it would have spun back and forth in here rather than in your hand. So it was a very important piece of the process. Of course, they were used by hand too. I have found not a lot of examples of actual drilled pieces out on the, in the area, but here's a piece of a red stone. It could be ochre, I'm not sure. And you'll see right here is an area that has been drilled. They didn't drill all the way through. I don't know why. One thing you'll find in almost everything that was drilled by a stone drill is it will have that countersunk look. So when you see that, it's pretty obvious that it has been drilled by a Native American using a stone drill. Then here is another piece, small piece, that has two drill marks on it. One goes completely through and one does not. What were they doing with this? I don't know. Whoops, let me get that in the picture. There we go. What were they doing with it? I don't know. They could have been making it to use even as some kind of a bead. And then lastly, for pieces I found that are drilled, is this one, and you can really see the countersunk look to the hole. That happened because when the drill was put in it, because it tapers like it does, it would leave a hole that was countersunk looking. Okay, so there were many different types of drill points, drill bits. There were extremely thin ones that were used for making almost a pin-like hole in stone and pottery and shell to create beads. And then there, of course, were wider ones for other uses. Here is one that is called a key drill. For obvious reasons, it looks like a key. This is a unifacial drill worked on one side, but this could have either been used by hand effectively or put into a shaft and spun with a bow drill, either one. So that's a popular style that I've found quite a few on the field. Now here's a really nice one. very nice material too. It's almost looks like jasper, and I don't know if you can see the true color of it on here, but it's a kind of a reddish brown. And again, it would have been put into a shaft. A lot of them are broken. The tips are the tips are broken from use, but they could still be used even after the tip was broken. Here's one with an extremely wide drill point on it. Here is one that comes down to a very thin bit, and it would have been even thinner had the tip not broken off. This may have been used for making beads or something else, Here's another key. See, it's a key type drill, but I just showed you one here. There are so many different styles, but they all have that top like that is reminiscent of a key. Sometimes you'll find them out of material other than regular chert. This is a nice piece that is not a local chert anyways. Local to Saginaw, Michigan. So I want to read to you a little bit about drills, and I'll show you some pictures whilst I'm reading to you. As I've already said, Native American cultures used stone drills extensively for various purposes, which included including materials and design. Drills, as I said, were typically crafted from durable materials like chert, jasper, or rhyolite, though other stones such as quartzite were also used. I found a few that were made out of quartz. Shark teeth and shell were also sometimes adapted for drilling purposes. Shark teeth aren't a thing that I've found any of up here, so I don't think that there was an abundance of them in this area. Certainly when sharks were in here, it was a long time before the Native Americans ever arrived here. I'm not sure about the use of shell. Shell was fairly soft, at least in this area. We had made primarily clam shells, and it was pretty soft. Drills usually featured a narrow, sharp bit shaped by chipping or knapping, same process that would have been used to make an arrowhead. And they often measured between 2 and 4 inches in length and had a diamond-shaped cross section. Some drills had an expanded area for hafting, known as key drills, which I just showed you an example of a short time ago. They were used, primarily used for creating holes in various materials, obviously, including wood, bone, shell, pottery, shale, and softer stones like soapstone. Hafting, the stone bit was typically hafted or attached to a shaft, often made of wood, using materials like deer sinew. And the University of Wisconsin provides a good example of the hafting process for spears, which would be similar for drills. Drilling techniques included hand drilling, and this involved manually rotating a handheld hefted drill. Bow drills, as I've already talked about, a bow with a string wrapped around the shaft of the drill would be used to create a rotary motion and increase drilling efficiency. Then there were pump drills. These tools utilized a weighted shaft and a pumping motion to create rotational momentum. So there were many types. Applications also included crafting. Drills were essential for creating various items, like I mentioned, beads, pendants, whistles, pipes, and pottery vessels. But definitely, I had forgot to mention pipes. Hide preservation, they could also be used in processing animal hides. And to improve efficiency when working harder materials, Native Americans would often use an abrasive grit, such as sand, in conjunction with the drill to provide greater friction. Archaeological evidence suggests that for making large holes in hard stone, reeds and sand were used with the drilling process rather than just stone bits. I had read that they used the reed of the horsetail plant, and I could see where that would have wouldn't be durable, but I can see where that could still be effectively used with a grit. Okay, so the presence of drills in excavations have revealed numerous examples of stone drills confirming their widespread use. Examination of drilled artifacts can reveal characteristic markings that that indicate the tool and techniques that were used for drilling. Finding drills alongside other tools and objects such as grinding stones with depressions, such as the capstone I showed you, provides further insight into the diverse use of stone drills. Native American stone drills were crucial tools, I've already said that allowed for the creation of a wide range of objects and facilitated important activities like crafting, agriculture, and high preparation. The ingenuity and skill displayed in their design and use highlighted the advanced technological capabilities of these ancient cultures. They indeed were not. I hope you enjoyed taking a little bit of a look at some of these pieces in my collection and maybe learned a little bit about drills, because I only know a little bit myself, so that's all I could impart to you. But thank you for stopping by, taking a look. Love you all very much on the other side of the monitor there, and yeah, just love you a lot. God bless each and every one of you. See you again real soon.